of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon at Miller Park. Man, that's some serious dice rolling right there. That's how you do it in Milwaukee. Big crowd filing in. It's the Dodgers and the Brewers, the final game of this three-game series, and the Brewers trying to win today to avoid the sweep. Pitching matchup this afternoon, Zach Davies. He has been outstanding here lately. Kenta Maeda will pitch for the Los Angeles Dodgers. It'll be his 10th start of the year. Hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us this afternoon. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Sophia Minard is our reporter. Gut punch last night, gut punch the last 2 days, as a matter of fact. But the old adage in baseball is you're only as good as your next day's starter. And today, that is Zach Davies.
Yeah, he's been very good. 5 of his last 6 he's been able to win. But the one thing Zach would like to do a lot better job of is getting deep into games. Early in the season, he just didn't have good command of his off-speed pitches. Curveballs, changeups, really not what they were last year. But as of late, he's been able to throw those pitches much better, flip them up there for strikes early in the count, and get them out of the zone late in the count. And certainly when he's out there, you figure he'd like to be able to get that pitch count down, be more manageable in that pitch count, and maybe get a few innings today, because Matt Garza yesterday only was able to get through 4 innings.
Well, you like the fact he's won 5 of his last 7. What a Saturday it was on the milestone front. There were 7 grand slams, including that one from Pujols. Sophia has more after this.
Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. By Cupie and Abraham, voted best, rated best. Cupie and Abraham, tell them you mean business. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Finally starting to feel like summer here in Milwaukee. We're getting ready for the series finale between the Brewers and the Dodgers. Fans coming into Miller Park collecting their BP pullovers. Nice giveaway here for fans. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sophia Minert. It was a historic day in Major League Baseball yesterday. A number of records and milestones. There were 7 Grand Slams, a record for baseball. 2 of them featured in yesterday's game right here at Miller Park. First career Grand Slam for Travis Shaw, and Chris Taylor hit one for the Dodgers as well. And there was a great pitching performance as well down in Miami as we saw the first no-hitter of the season. This one courtesy of Edinson Volquez, who was dominant in 98 pitches, 10 strikeouts for him on the day, just 2 walks allowed, throws the 6th no-hitter in Marlins history. He dedicated it to his former teammate Yordano Ventura on what would have been his 26th birthday, and former Marlin Jose Fernandez as well. 37-year-old slugger Albert Pujols recorded his 600th career home run last night. He is the first player to do it with a Grand Slam, a 2-out shot in the 4th off of Irvin Santana against the Twins. Certainly a milestone that Pujols will never forget. He joins an exclusive club, just the 9th to join that 600 home run club. You see Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron at the top of the list. Alex Rodriguez, the most recent player to do it. Terrific day in baseball yesterday. We're looking forward to a great matchup here this afternoon. Zach Davies leads the Brewers out on the mound as they look to avoid the sweep against the Dodgers. First pitch coming up next with Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder.
Have to get better. That how hard it is to win games, and we have to be better to win games. We got to play better against these teams to beat them. That's the bottom line. We did some really good things, but to beat teams like this, we got to do more.
We're a young team. Guys will learn from this, and you can't dwell on this too long. That's a good thing about baseball. You play tomorrow. You get another chance tomorrow to get back on the good side.
Who would know better than the son of a former big league closer? Travis Shaw hit a grand slam yesterday, and that's right, Rock. The Brewers trying to have those short memories that baseball players are required to have because 2 very difficult losses the last 2 days.
Now, if you've learned anything about this team is that they're resilient, they have short memories, they have a lot of fun, and one day does not really mean much going into the next day. I mean, you look at, the way the Brewers were able to swing the bats in yesterday's game, putting up 8 runs against one of the best pitching staffs in baseball, and the night before, 26 punch-outs. It really didn't matter. That really didn't make much of a difference yesterday. But, the one good thing is these guys are in every game they play.
Dave Roberts, reigning National League Manager of the Year. His Dodgers have won the first 2 in the series. LA is in first place in the National League West. They have a half-game lead over the Colorado Rockies. And the Dodgers, a team that have been to the postseason 4 consecutive years. And his batting order today, Dave Roberts, has it lined up like this. Forsythe returns after being out yesterday with a hip injury. Corey Seager, the reigning Rookie of the Year, hit second. Then Chris Taylor. Middle of the order is Adrian Gonzalez, Cody Bellinger, and Yasmani Grandal. And then Austin Barnes, who plays second base today. Kike Hernandez and Kenta Maeda round out the starting 9 against right-hander Zach Davies. We gave you the numbers over his last 7. He's been very good, and he's open to build on what has been an excellent run. A couple of passes through the starting rotation now, partner.
Yeah, he's won 5 of his last 6 decisions, and that covers 7 starts. His location has been much better with his off-speed stuff. A no decision his last time out against the Mets in New York.
Brewers starters last 9 games, 4-1 record, 1.46 ERA. That includes 55 strikeouts as well during the last 9. So all the pieces in place. We're set to go, and the first pitch is in there. Strike 1, and off we go from Miller Park. Logan Forsythe leads off for LA. Didn't see him yesterday. The Dodgers carry a 4-man bench, just like the Brewers, and Forsythe did not make an appearance. I think they were being very cautious with him. He was out with a hip injury. Now the Brewers should be back to full strength in their bullpen. That was a big topic yesterday, and obviously you're wanting Davies to go extended into this game. Every manager needs that from a starter, but Barnes will return today. Corey Knebel, 2 pitchers that were not available yesterday, and without your best back-end relievers, the Dodgers exploited all of that, scoring 5 runs in the 9th inning.
A couple of walks, a misplay at first base, and that's all it takes when you're playing teams like the Dodgers. Can't make mistakes late in the game.
Ground ball. Shortstop Arcia, and a bad throw, and already a mistake for the Brewers as Aguilar just missed the ball. It was definitely a poor throw from Arcia, but not out of the range of Aguilar, who's having his woes here the last couple of days, and this game starts with an E6.
You see this from Arcia once in a while, where he doesn't really get on top of it and make that good hard throw. He'll kind of flip it sidearm, and Aguilar not able to hold on to it. And E6, not a good start for Milwaukee. Can't be given extra outs.
As they found out last night, did the Brewers. So a man on. Here is Corey Seager now. And he takes a strike. By the way, calling the balls and strikes is the crew chief, Sam Holbrook. And the base umpires, Jim Wolf, Ben May, DJ Rayburn. Seager with 7 homers, 24 runs batted in. He's got a high on base percentage of .384. There's strike 2. Now Holbrook, a strike calling umpire. Davies hopes. Zach Davies, it's always imperative who gets the call behind the plate, and he's a guy that needs the edges
and the low strike.
Got an excellent changeup. And he puts a fastball, just missed. One ball, 2 strikes on Seager. Shift is on. 3 on the right side, and a swing and a miss, and there's the changeup. Seager is out, 1 gone. And the first strikeout for Davies.
Now let's check out the Menards Brewers defense. You got Eric Thames out in left field. He had yesterday off. He came in as a pinch hitter late. Roxon Santana round out the outfield. Shaw Arce on the left. Sogard gets a start at second base. He's been swinging the bat well. Aguilar at first, and Manny Pena behind home plate.
1 away, runner at first. Here is Chris Taylor, the man who dealt the Brewers a severe blow in yesterday's game. Game that lasted over 4 hours to play 9 innings, a back and forth affair, high drama. Travis Shaw hit a grand slam to give the Brewers the lead, and then Taylor hit a grand slam in the 9th inning to give the Dodgers the lead, and a game LA would win 10-8.
Both teams had 5-run innings yesterday.
Yeah, the Brewers had a 5-run 7th, Dodgers with a 5-run 9th. So in the middle of all of that drama last night, and of course the 9th inning, top of the 9th inning notwithstanding, there was a lot of good in yesterday's game. That was the grand slam that proved to be the game winner for Chris Taylor. But it was one of those games that had a good feel to it. It was a playoff type energy and atmosphere where these two teams were duking it out. A lot of pitching changes and whatnot. Got a chance to turn it here. Arcia, Sogard going to first. Not in time. Taylor runs well and he beats it out.
Now, it really came down to, the fact that the Brewers closer not available. Knebel had thrown 3 of the last 4 games and 2 in a row. And what that tells you is that the Brewers are in just about every game they play. It's a good news, bad news scenario. He wasn't available yesterday, and that probably was what ended up losing the game for Milwaukee. You don't have your 2 best relief pitchers available at the end of a game like that against the Dodgers. Carlos Torres not able to get the job done in the 9th inning.
There's an amazing stat about the Brewers, and just to that point exactly, and they've let a lot of games get away this year, but yet they still sit in first place in the National League Central. They are the only team over 500 in the division. Brewers come into play at 29-27. They have had the lead in 48 of their 56 games this season. That is the most in the National League. So when you hear discussions about the Brewers maybe overachieving at this point, I think the Brewers inside that clubhouse maybe feel the other way. They've let a lot of games get away, and there's a lot more winning to be had here as we continue on this summer. At least that's the hope.
Yep, and a lot of room for improvement to get all aspects of the game all working at the same time. Starting pitching, relief, defense, and offense.
2 outs. Adrian Gonzalez at the plate. Dangerous hitter always, and especially here at Miller Park. He's had a good series already. Gonzalez yesterday was 1 for 4, had a double and an RBI, and now a .413 hitter career at Miller Park in 33 games. .413, 10 homers, 32 RBIs in 33 games in this venue. Tough guy to keep down. And that one's hit well left field. Way back there is Thames, and he'll make the catch just in front of the wall. Gonzalez gave it a ride, but Davies survives the first, works around an error. Brewers coming up. Sunday baseball at Miller Park. Glad you're with us. Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. What a day for baseball. Nice and warm. Easy to get loose on a day like this. Potawatomi Brewers batting order with Sogard at the top. The Brewers are undefeated with Sogard hitting leadoff. We got Thames and Aguilar, Shaw, Santana, and Pena make up the middle. Council has Broxton, Arcia, and Davies at the bottom. And that's the starting 9 that will face Kenta Maeda. And what do we know about Kenta Maeda here recently, Rock, from the Dodgers?
Yeah, second year with the Dodgers. He was 16-11 last year, 348 earned run average, and he's won his last 3 decisions. That covers 5 starts, so he started off a little bit slow, but he's starting to throw the ball much better. Both of these pitchers very similar styles. So neither one of them are going to overpower anybody. They throw a lot of different pitches at you.
Well, we've run the gamut for starting pitching in this series. Had the big strikeout performance in Friday's game, the matchup with Kershaw and Jimmy Nelson. And quickly 2 strikes on Eric Sogard. Yesterday, both starters were out after 4 innings. Matt Garza left the game due to an injury. We'll get an update on Garza from Sophia momentarily. And Rich Hill just didn't have it yesterday, and he left after 4 innings. And so now we've got a couple of field pitchers who will try to feel their way through these lineups.
I would imagine both managers would like to have a nice long start, 6 innings minimum out of both of these guys.
Sogard, .390 batting average as he enters play today in a short run with the Brewers. This is the 7th time he's hit leadoff, and the Brewers are 6-0 in his previous 6 spots in that order. And this combination of the Erics at the top, Sogard and Thames, proved very good in New York. The final 2 games of that series against the Mets, the Brewers won both and had a good offensive attack in both of those games against Jacob deGrom and then Zach Wheeler. No balls, 2 strikes. Down and in.
Maybe nice to get off to a good start. Maeda has had a difficult time in the first inning this year. He's given up 11 earned runs in the first inning in his first 9 starts, and we've talked about for a long time now how good the Brewers have been in the first inning.
Best run differential in the big leagues, the Brewers scoring in the first inning versus their opponents. Here's a 1-2, and Sogard spoils that one foul. First inning numbers are impressive, and the Brewers scored 2 yesterday, so 52 runs in the first inning this season, and this is through 56 games. Best batting average, top 5 in homers, best OPS, and that 35 run differential is significant. Long look in by Maeda, couldn't get square on the signs, and Sogard steps out. And a 1-2, and it's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's one thing Sogard does well. He sees a lot of pitches per plate appearance, right around the 4.
And very rarely swings out of the strike zone, even with 2 strikes.
It's not a bad on-base percentage, right? Just what you want your leadoff hitter to do. It's a small sample size, but a .636 on-base percentage. Pops this one foul and out of play.
Get on base, and if you don't, make the pitcher show all of his pitches right out of the gates. You know, a guy that doesn't mind hitting with 2 strikes is an ideal leadoff hitter. Take pitches, make him work, see what he's got.
To the tune of a 9-pitch at bat to start the game offensively for the Brewers. Maeda was a big star in Japan before coming to LA. Played for the Hiroshima Carp in Japan. Second year with the Dodgers, and that one's on the edge, called strike 3. Sogard had a long battle, a 9-pitch at bat, but a punch out is the first out of the inning for Maeda.
Check out the Dodgers Menards defense. Bellinger, Taylor, and Hernandez in the outfield. You got Forsythe, Seager, on the left side, Barnes Gonzalez on the right side, and Yasmani Grandal, the Iron Man, catching 3 consecutive games here in Milwaukee. Well, the first 2 games of this series have gone a long time, both over 4 hours.
Yeah, 12-inning game Friday night, and then a 9-inning game that went over 4 hours yesterday. And Grandal's been back there for all of it. Here's Eric Thames, sweeping curveball, and it's a strike on the swing.
That's basically the only time Maeda's going to throw that curveball. First pitch, it's just to flip it up there for a strike. His best pitch, they say, is his slider. He's got a wipeout slider.
That's it right there. 88 miles an hour. He got Sogard on a backdoor slider for the strikeout. Well, Maeda in Japan won what is the equivalent of the Cy Young Award twice. He won Japan's pitching triple crown one year as well back in 2010. Very accomplished pitcher there, and decided he wanted to test his wares against the best hitters in the game, so he has come to the States, and he responded well last year. 16 wins for the Dodgers in his first season, 32 starts, a 3.48 earned run average when it was all said and done. You got a great Pacific Rim flair going on here with Maeda and Eric Thames, who spent the last 3 years in Korea and is still headline news over there in Korea, front page news, and his trials and tribulations here with the Brewers. It's that one hard in the right center field. That's way back, and it is gone. Eric Thames with a home run to put the Brewers on the board first. Just a flick of the wrist out of here.
That'd be nice to get him hot again. Well, it looked like that pitch was up and away, and he just kind of hooked it out of here. A line drive out of here. Didn't mean to interrupt the gauntlet. I apologize.
That's good stuff. Not to mention, every Eric Thames homer comes with the song that they played for Thames in Korea that the Brewers have adopted, and it's a big hit. Attic.
Let's check out the pitch. It's another one of those curveballs. We were told he doesn't throw many of them, but he threw 3 of them to Thames. This one ends up out of the ballpark, ends up in that Dodger bullpen.
Jesus Aguilar rolls over one foul.
Now you look at that dugout. Does that look like a bunch of dejected baseball players in there after a couple of tough losses?
I was thinking the same thing.
Really? I mean, if there's any team in the big leagues that can withstand a couple of losses like that, I believe it's the Brewers.
Well,
this guy's just having a good time.
And half of these players are just glad to be in the big leagues, and they're performing well. And
yeah,
you know, every day in the big leagues is a blessing. These aren't a bunch of wily old veterans who, you know, have been through the rigors. And they'll ask if Aguilar win. He did. It's a strikeout for Maeda. Now they've responded well. They've been resilient. You like to see that. Again, it's a game where typically teams move on quickly and have those short memories. And I thought Travis Shaw said it best as we hit the air. We replayed his soundbite from last night. But if anybody knows, it's this guy who was experiencing the ups and downs of a major league closer. His dad, Jeff, a former Dodger, so he knows all about it. Clubhouse is quiet, somber last night. Tough loss to deal with. And then I think players, what's the old rule? You know, once you showered away,
yeah,
right? You shower off the loss, and once you leave,
don't take it home.
Once you get into your civilian clothes, as they say, then it's all done.
And it's not like they haven't had losses like that. They've had a number of tough losses. On the flip side of that, they have had some gut punch wins, gut punches to the opponent this year.
Sure.
So I mean, it goes both ways when you always seem to be in games late. That's what happens.
Well, I do think the first inning scoring has a lot to do with the way the club has bounced back this year. Despite the 2 losses the last 2 days, this is still a team that is over 500. By most accounts, overachieving at this point, in first place a lot later than anybody expected. But while the Cardinals feel like they're not playing well and they're kind of hovering around 500, the Cubs certainly think they're not playing their best baseball. Well, the Brewers feel the same way. So you're sitting here in early June and you're still at the top. And Shaw draws the walk. Keeps the inning alive with 2 outs. Here comes Domingo Santana now with 2 away and a runner at first. Santana's been hot. He's really swung the bat well. He's kept it going. A couple of hits in this series, including a home run off Clayton Kershaw. He's had a homer and a double in this series. We can go back to April 30th as a demarcation line for Santana. He got off to a dismal start. He was hitting under 200 in the first month of the season, but since April 30th he's hitting .330. 6 homers, 22 driven in 29 games. He has those 22 RBIs. A defensive swing there. Nasty breaking ball by Maeda.
And basically really not trying to pull the baseball like he was early in the season. April, he had the home runs, but the batting average low. But right now he's going to right field very nicely. Got a double down the line in right, and the home runs are still coming.
No balls, 2 strikes on Santana. Shaw drew the 2-out walk. He's at first. Thames with a home run to give the Brewers the early lead. And the count evens at 2-2.
Good take. A lot of off-speed pitches for Maeda. Mentioned when Davies was out there that you know, both of these pitchers are very similar. They're not going to blow anybody away. They rely heavily on the off-speed stuff to throw for strikes.
The 27th pitch of the inning. And he misses with that slider. Count goes 3-2. One knock on Maeda is his pace with runners on base. It will slow down significantly.
Yeah, very much different than that of Zach Davies. He likes to get it and go, not mess around. Maeda in no hurry.
Well, let's see what he has in mind. 3-2. That'll give Shaw a head start. There he goes. Santana fouls it back. Had a good cut. One thing to notice on Santana, and Rock brings this up often, is how quick his bat is and how late into the ball traveling to the plate that he'll fire that swing. He's got a great opposite field approach, and what we've seen over the last couple of years as he's started to settle in as a big leaguer, boy, he really has good plate discipline and can fight off tough pitches.
Even with 2 strikes, something a little bit different from last year.
And it's one thing to be able to do that and, you know, be a singles hitter, but Santana's got a good late swing that he can fire up into the beer pen in right center. He's got some pop to the opposite field.
He's got that leverage, big and tall, nice quick stroke. Knows he can wait. And has subscribed to the Darnell Cole's opposite field approach.
He's got a good battle here. A run is in. Brewers are tapping into that pitch count for Maeda. This is pitch 30. Shaw goes, and Santana Skies one into deep right center field. That's Hernandez who will make the catch. Good start for the Brewers, making the starting pitcher work. And Eric Thames launches one out of here. Home run number 15 of the year. And another trip down Bernie's slide, brought to you by Quick Trip. Beautiful Sunday in Milwaukee. Sun shining brightly. Brewers lead 1-0 on an Eric Thames solo homer in the first. And here we go to the second. Cody Bellinger leads off against Zach Davies. Bellinger has been big news this series. Had the game-winning home run in the 12th inning on Friday. Yesterday, Bellinger 1 for 4. Had an RBI in the game yesterday.
Strikes out a lot, but he's got huge power.
He's the reigning Rookie of the Month for the month of May in the National League. He and Aaron Judge took home those honors. Judge of the New York Yankees, who keeps hitting home runs. And each coast well represented. The big market Dodgers and the big market Yankees have star rookie players. That's a strike.
There's a good pitch right on the corner. Aaron Judge hitting what, 320? 320 something. He's got 40 some RBIs. They're already talking about triple crown.
There's a liner into right center field. Santana is there, makes the catch. Hit sharply, but Santana got a great break on it. And out number 1. Well, today's game is on AFN, the American Forces Network, now in its 75th year of broadcasting to American military personnel overseas in more than 170 countries and naval ships at sea. And we welcome all of those watching today. Thank you for your service. Always great to bring a little bit of home, a little bit of Milwaukee, Wisconsin,
right,
to our men and women serving our military. Yasmani Grandal batting with 1 away. Coming off a big month of May. He's been a workhorse in this series, catching all 3 games. Dave Roberts needed to get his backup catcher in the game. So Austin Barnes, who's due up next, is playing second base, a rare catcher second baseman combo player.
Yeah, right. Great Biggio. And Barnes came up in the 9th inning as a pinch hitter, got a base hit last night.
Little jam shot. Shift was on. That's going to slice foul. 1-2 the count. I can't think of any other middle infielder slash catchers. I mean, there's been a lot of catchers that have played third and first.
Right.
But Biggio's the one guy the only guy I can think of that played second base and caught. Maybe Russell Martin, actually. Russell Martin, I know he's played a lot of third base, and he played shortstop in the WBC. I'm not going to get R&D on that to see if he's played a game at short in the majors. That is quite the conversion, though, to go from behind the plate to a middle infield spot.
It's quite a different skill set, those two positions. Yeah.
Nobody did it better than Biggio, who came up as a catcher. And then because his bat was so valuable, they thought they'd move him to the infield. He actually played some outfield as well. Ground ball up the middle. Arcia's there. And there is out number 2. 6-3 put out with the shift on.
Jesus Aguilar very appreciative of the better throw by Arcia that time. They're kind of having a good time together. Nothing really seems to bother these guys very long anyway. I mean, when it happens, yes, but they brush it off pretty quickly.
Arcia has been on a nice long run of errorless baseball, and really, if Aguilar makes a better stride to that, he's going to make that catch. I think Aguilar would be the first to tell you he didn't play it perfectly either, but it was an error on Arcia. Snapped a 19 consecutive game stretch without an error. Arcia's had an interesting run this year defensively. His first 18 games he did not commit an error, and then he had 5 errors in a group of 14 games over 3 weeks, and a defensive slump, I guess you could call it. But that was his first error in his last 19. Sure-handed shortstop. He is an asset defensively, no matter where he plays in that shift. There's a bouncer to third. Shaw's got it. Fires a strike to Aguilar. The inning is over. Barnes on a ground ball out. Nice quick inning and a shutdown inning for Zach Davies.
A 1-0 lead. Our scoops from the clubhouse brought to you by Car Soup. Matt Garza went 4 innings in yesterday's start, but had to leave with a chest contusion after colliding with Jesus Aguilar at first base. And after the game last night, Garza told us he felt like he had run into a Ford F-350. So player counsel saying that he is still very sore today. They'll have a better idea tomorrow as to whether Garza will be able to stay on schedule and make his next scheduled start Thursday afternoon against Johnny Cueto. So they said they just want to give him an extra day, see how he reacts, anticipating that he would be very sore today.
All right, Sophia, thanks for the update. And Brewers are hoping Garza can make his next start. That's a pretty good analogy, though. It's like running into a big truck. Jesus Aguilar.
That's the heavy-duty version. F350 might even be the dually. The 4 wheels in the back.
Let's put it this way. Garza bounced off him. Aguilar didn't move. This was the collision yesterday. It was a really awkward play. Both players thinking the other was covering, and then bam. Oh.
Well, once it was determined that Garza wasn't going to be able to get involved in the play, he had to peel off because Aguilar was coming in hot, trying to beat the run of the bag, and they just collided.
Manny Pena leading off for the Brewers in this second inning.
And that 4-inning start for Garza is one of the reasons why Zach Davies needs to be very efficient with his pitches. And I got to believe Craig Counsell's thinking at least 6 out of him today.
You hope so.
But I mean, Davies needs to do that regardless. I mean, he really hasn't been able to pitch too deep in games very often so far this year.
1-2 pitch. Pena takes low. Well, Manny Pena and Jet Bandy continue to excel as a catching combo. Manny comes in at .298, on base percentage of .342. And they'll ask if he went. He checked his swing, says Jim Wolf. And the count will go to 3-2, and the pitch count is rising fast for Kenta Maeda. Brewers are giving him some tough at-bats to start this game.
Well, he's having a difficult time with his slider. I mean, that's his best pitch. At least it was last year, and it's been rather inconsistent this year.
3-2 pitch is outside, ball 4. Second walk issued by Maeda.
Hey, baseball's brightest stars take its biggest stage as Miami hosts a Midsummer Classic this year. And you can make sure that your hometown nine are well represented by going to Brewers.com/vote and casting a ballot filled with Brewers up to 5 times per day and 35 times total. All-star game in Miami.
I figure the Brewers have a couple of players that are all-star game worthy at this point. Travis Shaw and Eric Thames. And got a month to play. About 6 weeks actually before the All-Star game. They had big news and headline news yesterday in Miami with Edinson Volquez throwing a no-hitter. Becoming the 6th Marlin to throw a no-hitter. And he dedicated that no-hitter to the late Jose Fernandez, who passed away last year, that tragic boating accident.
Yeah.
And that was a touching moment for Edinson Volquez. And a historic moment for him, his first no-no. First of the year, as a matter of fact, in the big leagues. The Brewers have been close. Chase Anderson went 7 no-hit innings.
And Volquez in that game barely almost didn't make it out to the 2nd inning. That collision at first base.
That's right. Yeah, he rolled his ankle, huh?
Thought he twisted his ankle, but apparently okay.
Ball and a strike to Keon Broxton with a runner at first. And Broxton, a lazy fly ball to left. Bellinger will make the catch for out number 1. Here comes Arcia now. Arcia batting 8th. Can be a difficult position for a young player in the batting order, the 8th spot in the order. There's a lot of pressure in that spot that other members of the order do not face, hitting in front of the pitcher. Sometimes you have to expand your zone. Sometimes you have to tighten it down. It all depends on the situation.
Well, in this situation, you can tighten it down the strike zone. 1 out, man at first. It becomes a challenge with 2 outs with first base open for a lot of number 8 hitters. Pitcher on deck.
Arcia's got a good run going here lately. A couple of hits in this series. He's 2 for 8. He was 5 for 16 on the last road trip in that 4-gamer in New York. Hitting the ball to the opposite field. He actually had a double into left center in that series as well. That's usually how it works. You start going the other way, and then you can add a little power on the pull side.
Yeah, the maturity process. I mean, if you're going to err on one side, you'd rather err on going to the opposite field, staying on the baseball, shooting it to right. But as he becomes more comfortable up there at the plate, start turning on those pitches, particularly when he has the count in his favor.
Arcia had a hitting streak going at 11. Then he was used as a pinch hitter in New York and did not collect a hit. That broke the streak, but he's hit safely in 13 of 14 now. Gives him a .345 batting average in that stretch. And been very productive down at the bottom of the order. And he's hit by a pitch. Maeda let one get away. And Arcia is drilled. And 2 men are on here with 1 out.
That was an off-speed pitch, only 78 miles an hour, so it's not going to hurt too bad. I'm not sure it was a curveball or a changeup. Yep, changeup, and got away from him and got Arcia on that upper part of the leg.
If you're going to get hit, a 78-mile-an-hour changeup would be ideal. Got a piece of Grandal, too. A double whammy for Maeda.
Let's see if the Brewers have Davies bunting here or let him swing away.
Ed Cedar, third base coach, giving the verbal signals there. Corners are creeping in. Third baseman Forsythe goes through the infield signs for their defensive setup, and now Adrian Gonzalez says, do him again. I didn't catch that.
Well, a lot going on. Ed Cedar giving a lot of hand motions over to Pena at second base. He's halfway between third and home. And then the corner infielders want to have a discussion with Maeda.
So what's the topic here with the pitcher involved?
Well, where he's going to cover on a bunt, probably, if he bunts.
Pena did not run well at second base. Dodgers might be thinking about a potential force out at third. Shows bunt, gets a bunt down foul.
Ed Cedar very close to home plate, which gives you the sense that Davies is up there to bunt, because if he was going to swing away, he probably wouldn't be that close. The coaching box is just a suggestion for both Carlos Sabero at first base and Ed Cedar at third.
And any team can complain about it and move the coaches back into the box, but then obviously you've got to enforce it on your own side.
Not many coaches stay in the box.
You just don't. As long as they're not interfering with the play. All right, let's see what the Brewers do here. 0-1 the count, and Davies pulled the bat back as if he was going to swing. He takes a strike, and it's 0-2. There is 1 out. Anything but a double play is what you're thinking here with Davies. Davies does have a hit this year, has 4 sacrifice bunts. He's normally pretty good, and he swings away. He pulled the bat back again. The old Butcher Boy play.
Yeah, Brewers very concerned about Pena and making sure he doesn't get picked off. It doesn't look like the middle infielders for the Dodgers are trying to jockey him back all that much. Maybe a little bit, but Ed Cedar very concerned about the lead for Pena here.
It's a giant hole between short and third because of it. Seager near the bag at second. There's a lot of room over there. You could hit a 6-hopper through there if you could put it in the right spot. Davies bunts it foul, and that'll be a strikeout. Runners stay put, first and second, out number 2.
Yeah, a lot going on for a strikeout in that situation, huh? I mean, a lot of meetings. Brewers third base coach Ed Cedar really involved in the lead for Pena.
Eric Sogard now. We go back to the top of the order. Brewer leadoff hitter today. Had a 9-pitch battle with Maeda in the first and struck out looking. Maeda threw him a perfect backdoor slider to punch him out. One of 3 strikeouts already for Maeda. 2 outs, 2 on. Sogard takes a strike.
And they're giving Sogard a lot of room over there at shortstop. Playing way up the middle is Seager, and Sogard very good at taking that ball to the opposite field.
Sogard started the year in AAA in Colorado Springs. This is his 19th game with the Brewers this season. Hits that one sharply through, base hit. Man, he's going to wind it up around third. He's on his way in, and Eric Sogard delivers. It's an RBI single. 2-0 Brewers.
Well, great job by Sogard to stay right on it. There's that changeup. It was right down the middle, and Sogard able to line it and driving a run with 2 outs. That was an 0-2 changeup from Maeda. Made a mistake on it, and Sogard made him pay for it. Well, you see a lot of 0-2 mistakes these days in the big leagues, and most of them coming on off-speed stuff.
Sogard just keeps putting stakes in the ground. Started in AAA, hit down there, got a call up to the big leagues. Brought to the big leagues to be a role player, utility player, and he's starting to look like an everyday player once again. It'll be tough to keep him out of the lineup. Thames now with runners at the corners. Thames lashing away and fouls it off.
Well, Sogard had extensive experience in the major leagues over in the American League with the A's, and he just understands what his job is in a given at bat. I mean, he doesn't have the same approach all the time in that situation, just trying to put the bat on the baseball, and he's able to drive in a run. Other times he knows his job is to get on base. He's patient at the plate. He can draw his walks.
Sogard making his 11th start of the year today. You still have to be cautious with him, though. He's coming back from major knee surgery, which knocked him out the entire season last season. But everything he's showing is back to his form when he was right as a member of the Oakland Athletics. 1-1. Thames takes inside.
And think about Sogard. He made some really good plays late in the game at shortstop. He came in on a double switch, filling in for Arcia, and he made a tremendous play to end the 8th inning.
He's been part of 2 playoff teams with the Oakland Athletics. You like that part about him, too. Been through the wars and the regular season of a successful season to get to the playoffs. And defensively, he's been excellent. He doesn't have the arm that Arcia has, but everything he gets to, he makes look easy.
And this one here was a dandy. I mean, in the hole, sidearm flip, able to get the runner at first to end a threat by the Dodgers.
And I've noticed more and more glasses in the stands as Sogard continues to perform here. I notice you're wearing your Eric Sogard glasses today.
Yep, just because of him.
Nerd power. 2-2 to Thames. Got him. Went with the fastball and a strikeout to end the inning, but Eric Sogard 2-out RBI, and the Brewers are up 2-0.
2-0 lead. Our showstopper, Ender Inciarte, the Atlanta center fielder, starting the day with a hot bat, hitting 3 for 3. 4 RBIs for him already on the day. He's come around to score 2 runs as well for Atlanta.
All right, Sophia, thanks. She is hawking all the games going on around Major League Baseball, looking for those headlines today. Inciarte with a good start for Atlanta. That's the return of Brandon Phillips, by the way, to Cincinnati.
I'll tell you, Inciarte is a good player. He had a good series here in Milwaukee. Pretty good outfielder, got a good arm.
Zach Davies back on the mound, starting his 3rd inning. Kike Hernandez leads off. 2-0 Brew Crew. Got a run in the 1st on an Eric Thames homer. And then a 2-out RBI single by Eric Sogard in the 2nd inning. And the Erics at the top of the batting order for the Brewers are delivering again. Might be a lineup Craig Counsell sticks with for a little while, the way it's going. Swing and a miss. Wow, Hernandez took a big hack. Down he goes. The old 2-strike approach, Rock.
Down and away. I mean, I remember those days, down and away. Every 2-strike pitch was down and away, and that's exactly where Davies puts it. And that's a big hack trying to pull that pitch. Good luck to you. The back legger.
That's a full-on leg kick and everything. You wonder why strikeouts are up and home runs are up, especially 2-strike home runs. That's it right there.
That's it. I love that down and away fastball in 0-2. And when I was in college and I was catching and we give up an 0-2 hit, it was a fine. We had to pay Coach Wilhelm, $5. Yeah.
For a college kid, that's significant.
So guess what? We never did that. You throw it to the backstop before you give up a hit.
That's a good point. Maeda rolls one to second. And there is out number 2.
MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Go to MLB.TV for details.
Were there any other notable players from Clemson while you were there?
Tim Tuffle.
Oh, sure.
Yep, Tim Tuffle.
New York Mets?
Yep, former 3rd base coach for the Mets. He was there last year. Let's see, who else?
Any other big leaguers?
Jimmy Key was there the year after I left.
Oh, well, that explains it.
Left-hander for Toronto. Explains what?
I don't know. Just the fact that you left and Jimmy Key.
Yeah,
rumor is he wasn't coming unless.
Yeah, unless I left.
If you were coming back, he was going to go to.
I left after my junior year.
South Carolina, I heard, be a Gamecock. That was just what I heard. I don't know if it's true. Did you tap the rock for the baseball team, or how's that work?
We didn't go all the way to the football stadium for that.
Logan Forsythe takes a ball. There's not like a baseball version of the rock.
No.
Did people walk by you and tap your head?
That wasn't rock back then. That started in AAA.
Oh, that's right.
If you want to know how I got that name, buy the book.
I'm not buying that book till my picture's in it. I told you.
I actually gave you one, and I showed up at the ballpark this year, opening day, and was still sitting in your locker. So I guess you never got around to reading it.
It's off season. It's on my list, my off season reading list. It's kind of like Oprah's, books that she promotes. That's one of them this year. Bouncing ball to short. Arcia hustles in. Perfect throw. Zach Davies has it going. 1, 2, 3 inning. Just in case, if these walls could talk. Bill Schroeder with Drew Olson.
I think they're still for sale. I'm not sure.
Foundation Executive Director Cecilia Gore. And Cecilia, we've got the 18th annual Famous Racing Sausages Run Walk coming up in July. What can you tell us about that event and how it'll support BCF?
Well, we're excited about it. This is the 18th year. We're hoping for 3,000 to 4,000 people that will come out and join us. We're raising money for Fisher House, which is a military hospitality house for veterans that are receiving care at the VA. So it's a fun time. You can have a tailgate and get a ticket to a game and run through the ballpark. It's a wonderful event.
And can you tell us a little bit more about Fisher House and the importance of raising money for a great organization?
Fisher House just recently built a facility right on the VA grounds, and they have families that live 50 miles away, but their loved ones are receiving care at the VA, and they can stay there for free. And so it's really meaningful. It means a lot to the families and to their loved ones.
And for fans and viewers who are interested in signing up, as you said, you've got a goal of 4,000 runners and walkers. How can they sign up? Brewers.com/5K. All right, there we go. BA and Rock, maybe we should start doing our running and walking. I know Rock's got his program, so we may have to get in shape here for July.
The Rock Walk is a big part of it, and we certainly support the Fisher House with everything we have.
No doubt.
It's one of the great fundraising options that you can have if you're trying to figure out how to support military charities. That's one of them. They do fantastic work, and they are our neighbors right next door here at Miller Park.
Yeah, Fisher House provides housing for veterans and their families that are at the VA here in Milwaukee to get some treatment, and couldn't think of a better cause. There are a lot of great military causes, but that's up amongst them.
Jesus Aguilar on a 2-2 count, starting the Brewer third, and Maeda misses. Aguilar takes this time. That's the pitch he struck him out on last time. But Aguilar able to watch it go by, check his swing. Pitch count climbing fast. A lot of 3-2 counts. And he missed inside, ball 4. Aguilar is on. Brewers are putting together some very good at-bats against Maeda. 2 hits and 2 runs in. Don't forget, June 15th, greatest golfers in the world descend upon Erin Hills, one of the most anticipated events of the year, certainly here in Wisconsin. It's the 117th U.S. Open. It begins June 15th on Fox, FS1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Hope they get great weather there, and I know Wisconsin fans will be out there supporting this historic event.
Who do you have winning that?
Ooh,
Come on.
winning?
How about Steve Stricker, local guy? No?
I mean, always a good choice in a U.S. Open. A guy like Steve Stricker. I'm going to go with one of the young guns, however. I feel like this is a Jason Day U.S. Open year.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Just a hunch, I guess.
You have inside information?
No. Other than that, he's playing really well. They all are. Dustin Johnson, hard to root against, though. He's your reigning U.S. Open champ. Talk about a guy that could overpower Erin Hills. He'd be one. Travis Shaw batting here with a man on. Down on the count 0-2.
No, I was a little distracted between innings. A bunch of fans were looking up here. Did you notice that? They were kind of looking up here. And
I did. What for?
Getting our attention. They smell bacon down there. Here in the low zone. They're looking up at me. They smell bacon and they look up here in the TV booth. I wonder why that would be. Are you cooking bacon?
They literally smell bacon, is what you're saying.
That's what they're telling me. Yeah, if you smell bacon, are you guys cooking bacon? I said no.
Oh, this is a little warm. You got a good lather going on this Sunday afternoon.
I had bacon this morning.
Maybe you're leaking bacon. They're still looking up here at us. Turn around. Shaw down the right field line. It's hooking. Fair foul. That is a foul ball. Close.
I went to the press room. You know, it's Sundays. They got the omelet station in there in the press room here. And I go over there to Lorraine and I said, I'll have some bacon. And she literally piles my whole plate with bacon. And I think you could take some of that off.
But you ate it anyway.
No, I didn't. I didn't eat all of that. But
we had a little drama at the omelet station today. You know, stealing of omelets.
Really?
It's always exciting.
Were you involved?
No, I didn't go in for an omelet today.
Are you cooking bacon up there? Okay.
I mean, look, you turn around, you look at us, especially you, and you're smelling bacon, and it makes sense that it'd be coming from you.
Yeah, look at me. They just think bacon, right? I've never had that question before here at Miller Park. It's been, what's this, 2001?
Fly ball to left. Maeda had Shaw out in front a little bit.
That ranks up there amongst some of the most unusual requests or questions that we've had.
That's got to go in the next book. Questions Bill Schroeder's been asked.
It might have gotten into the next book, but we're actually cooking bacon in here. Oh well, it's not us.
That goes right up there with, are you Gorman Thomas, which is one of the most awful questions asked of Bill Schroeder.
Yep. Standing out there waiting for the elevator.
Santana takes a ball. Domingo with a man on, one away. Last time up, flew out to right, had a long battle with Maeda. Brewers have certainly seen the full repertoire and then some of Maeda today. Little curveball drops in for a strike. Third inning, Brewers lead 2-0, scoring at each of the first 2 innings. And a leadoff walk here in this third. Maeda has walked 2 and hit a batter. Count goes to ball and 2 strikes. A little late. Got a fastball by him. That's about as much as you'll get out of Maeda's fastball. It's a 90 to 92 mile an hour pitch.
Yeah, both pitchers, not the big fastball, but rely on movement. I think Davies more relies on movement than Maeda.
And he got him to chase that breaking ball. Down goes Santana. Strikeout number 5. Maeda is 29 now, and this slider has held up well for him. It's, as Rock mentioned, it's pretty much the pitch that is the difference between a good start and a bad start. If he's got it going, he can hang around there for a little while.
It's been pretty inconsistent so far. That slider way off the outside corner. And it seems like as the game goes on, in most of his starts, he gets a little bit better. He really struggles early. Brewers able to put a couple of runs on him.
Manny Pena now. Leadoff walk. Maeda's retired the next 2. Brewers did get a 2-out RBI hit from Sogard last inning. And Pena was fooled. Big curveball again for Maeda.
He's thrown a lot of them. You know, scouting report on him is he doesn't throw that many, but he's thrown a number of curveballs. He threw 3 to Eric Thames, the at-bat. He hit a home run.
Maeda made 3 starts for the Dodgers in the postseason last year. And he spins one in for a strike. 2 of those starts came against the Chicago Cubs. Dodgers lost that series in 6. Cubs, of course, would go on to win the World Series, beating the Indians in that dramatic 7-game World Series. One of the greatest World Series that we've had in this game. Oh, nice catch. Fan right below us. You hear the crowd chanting. A one-handed grab.
Yeah, with no glove.
That's the way you do it.
And you like his reaction. He's not, jumping up and down. He acts like he's done it before. Right?
I would know I was under the table. Now Pena has worked it into a 2-2 count. Aguilar still at first base after that leadoff walk. Hit hard to left. Bellinger is there. That ball was sinking fast, and Bellinger stays with it to make the play. Tough break for Manny Pena. To the fourth we go. 2-0 Brewers. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Eric Dames got the Brewers on the board first here this afternoon. Hit number 15 of the season. He has won off the National League lead. Good crowd on hand today on a Sunday afternoon. 2-0 Brewers. Here we go to the fourth. And it'll be Corey Seager, Chris Taylor, Adrian Gonzalez. Zach Davies has been terrific. Worked around an error that started the game. Logan Forsythe reached on an E6, and Davies has retired everyone since. Right off the end of the bat, Davies fields his position well. Makes a play. One pitch, one out.
Another good off-speed pitch to start a Dodger hitter. He's got good stuff today. Good command of all four of his pitches.
How about 6 ground ball outs already? 11 batters faced.
That's good movement with that two-seam fastball. That's what that'll do for you. Change up.
One away for Chris Taylor. Here's a guy making the most of his opportunities with the Dodgers. Chris Taylor hit the grand slam last night in the 9th inning, proved to be the game winner. Taylor has already hit 7 homers this season.
Good curveball. Yeah, that was a long at bat against Carlos Torres in the 9th. And finally able to center on one of those cut fastballs and hit it out way back in center.
Swing and a miss. Big bender by Zach Davies, and Taylor is out. Strikeout number 3 for Zach.
Yep, 74 miles an hour right at the bottom of the strike zone, and I mean, if you were to walk that pitch across home plate, that's exactly where you'd put it. Goes across home plate at the knees, but look where Pena catches it. That's a big break.
And a change of pace pitch too at that velocity. About 18 miles an hour off his fastball. There's strike one to Adrian Gonzalez.
Didn't like that call.
And Gonzalez has the kind of pedigree and the kind of player that when he questions an umpire's strike zone, usually umpires, especially an umpire like Sam Holbrook, who's a crew chief, would say, you know, maybe he's right.
Yeah, but it wasn't that bad a pitch. It looked like a strike. It had the plate right on the edge. Don't be bullied, Sam.
I remember the great Tony Gwynn, the late Tony Gwynn, used to influence the umpires that way. And then I've heard umpires say, well, you know, if Tony Gwynn doesn't think it's a strike, it's probably not.
I heard that my first year when Carl Yastrzemski was at the plate. I forget who was umpiring. I held a 2-2 pitch, you know, right on the corner. Bill Kunkel, I think it was. Nice. And he said, I'm not sure why you're holding it there, but if Mr. Yastrzemski, he called him, doesn't swing at it, it's not a strike.
That's always a good sign to start a game.
The umpire, no, it was middle, you know, toward the end of the game. And
Mr. Yastrzemski.
when the umpire's calling him Mr. Yastrzemski.
He'll let you know. He'll let you know when it's a strike.
And I'll never forget, you know, Yaz stepped out of the box, just stared at me like, what are you doing?
There's a rollover ground ball to second base, and Davies keeps it rolling here. He has been fantastic through the first 4 innings.
Time for our unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Reds shortstop Zach Cozart, 2 for 3 today. He's got a triple and a home run. JD Martinez today has gone 2 for 2 with a double and a home run, as well as the White Sox lead the Tigers 2-1. And back in that Braves and Reds game, Danny Santana has now gone 3 for 4, a double and a home run. A lot of runs scored in that game already, 11-7 in Cincinnati.
Yeah, you're right, Queen City and hitter's paradise, proving to be just that today. Thank you, Sophia. Keon Broxton leads off for the Brewers. Today, Keon hitting out of the 7th spot in the batting order. Council has Sogard leading off. Sogard already has a single and an RBI today. 2-0 Crew. Thames homered. Sogard with a single and a ribby in the second. The night game tonight in Major League Baseball is Cardinals Cubs. Brewers lead both of those teams in the National League Central to start play. Cubs actually leapfrogged the Cardinals. They've won the last 2 against St. Louis at Wrigley. So starting play today, Milwaukee has a 1-game lead over Chicago and a 1.5-game lead over the Cardinals, 3 up on Cincinnati. Pittsburgh rounding out the division. Pirates have a lead over the Mets today, 6-1 in the 7th inning. It has been a division to start the season that has been mediocre. And I think everybody in the division feels like they could be playing better. So that's a good place to be if you're the Brewers. You're at the top, and Brewers are hoping there's a 6-7 game win streak in here pretty soon. They feel like they've got the ball club to do it.
Well, Brewers certainly have exceeded expectations by the so-called experts as Broxton goes down on strikes. I guess the Cubs and the Cardinals you consider to be underperformers at this point. Still a long way to go.
Cardinals do have the best ERA in the National League from a pitching staff, and I think the Cubs are going through a little World Series hangover. It's tough to live up to those expectations.
Tough to repeat.
They played about as well as you could play last year. Everything worked for him. Arcia was fooled on the pitch. He's able to pop it foul.
And sometimes when you have a year like the Cubs did last year, and you feel sometimes like, you know, the following year just throw your glove out there and you're going to win games, but it takes a lot of work. And not to say the Cubs are taking things for granted. I'm not saying that at all, but it is awfully hard when you're the one that's being chased all the time.
Arcia foul. So this year, what is your biggest surprise? What's the biggest story of the Major League season outside the Brewers in first place in the Central Division?
Well, the Houston Astros, I mean, 40-16, they won 9 in a row. 20-6 on the road are the Astros. I mean, how can they not be everybody's pick? Right? Underperformers, probably the Giants.
Giants are coming here tomorrow. Astros already on June 4th have a 12.5 game lead. Astros are out early today. They lead the Rangers 2-0. Scored 2 first inning runs in Arlington.
Biggest surprise? Obviously the Houston Astros, but the Twins are not far behind. After losing 100 games last year.
It's good. There's a lot of parity in baseball right now. You like that? You like the idea that teams like the Twins and the Brewers can ride in first place at this point. That's what the Central looks like, with the Minnesota Twins 4 games over. Paul Molitor's Minnesota Twins, the legendary Brewer, one of the retired numbers here at Miller Park.
Brewers don't see the Twins till August, right?
That's right.
That's late. Saw the Twins last year, first road trip in April.
Brewers always play the Twins every year, part of that rivalry matchup in interleague baseball that the commissioner tries to put in place, or the schedule makers under the commissioner. Usually a home and home with the Twins. This year the Brewers are facing the American League East as their interleague matchup. So already played the Red Sox, the Blue Jays. Got the Yankees coming up right before the All-Star break at Yankee Stadium in New York. Going on the road to play the Tampa Bay Rays this season. Baltimore's coming here. That's a tough division to play in interleague baseball. Two-two, Maeda facing Davies, and that one just missed. Maeda was ready to go to the dugout.
It's that low strike that seems to be very difficult to get if you're out there on the mound.
I thought I heard Sam Holbrook say to Yasmani Grandal, Mr. Davies will let you know when that's a strike. And Davies pulls one foul.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, what a catch. That's using your boiler right there. Get you a little extension.
That's nice.
These fans can play.
Yep.
That's fantasy camp sign up waiting to happen right there. You need to get a man down there, Rock.
That's MVP fantasy camp right there.
Bouncing ball to third, and Forsythe, close play at first base. Davies is out, 3 up, 3 down inning. Fantasy camp MVP, I'm with you.
Game in a 3-game series against the Dodgers. We came on the air talking about good location for Zach Davies as of late, and he's got it today. A lot of ground ball out, 7 of them to be exact. Now it's been the fastball, the changeup, that curveball's been getting some ground balls, so he's been able to manage his pitch count pretty well, and that's an important thing because Craig Counsell's looking for some extended innings out of Zach here this afternoon.
Davies did make the final out at the plate, taking a little extra time to get this inning going. 53 pitches through the first 4 innings. Dodgers have had 2 base runners. Forsythe reached on an error, and then Taylor reached on a fielder's choice in that inning. So Davies has, since the error, retired 12 straight. Facing Cody Bellinger now to start the 5th inning. Bellinger, Grandal, Austin Barnes. Davies starts him with an off speed. Curveball's been a good pitch for Zach today. He's thrown it as slow as 74 miles an hour.
He's got some outs on first pitch changeups as well.
That was a changeup there to Bellinger. Dangerous bat, Cody Bellinger hit a line drive in the 2nd to right field. Hit a bullet out there that Santana ran down. He backed him up, didn't he?
Yep. Fastball situation when he's got it working for him. That's a tremendous pitch.
3 consecutive off-speed offerings from Davies. And a 2-1. Just missed. That was a fastball. 3 balls and a strike. Bellinger reminds me of someone. I was thinking about this the last couple of days. The way he stands there like that, straight up, both eyes on the pitcher. And I finally figured it out. It's because this player was a right-handed batter, but he stands in there like Mickey Tettleton. Remember how Mickey Tettleton used to stand up?
Yeah.
Straight up in the box. Call, strike 3. Zach Davies with the fastball. Bellinger was looking otherwise.
Now caught that outside corner beautifully. He's got good command with that pitch. Look at Pena setting up on the outside corner. He doesn't even have to move the glove. Pinpoint control for Zach Davies on that pitch. Look at the way he sticks the landing right there. Pena holding it there, extends his arm, getting it close to home plate. And Sam Holbrook rings it up.
4 strikeouts for Davies. Strike 1 to Grandal. Shift is on with 3 infielders on the right side. Grandal pulls one that way. And it's quickly 0-2. .61 pitches for Davies. 38 of those 61 have been for strikes. It's a good ratio. It's free and easy and comfortable on the mound. This is about the time last year Davies caught fire and for about 3 months of the season was the best pitcher the Brewers had. Had a poor finish to the year in September. Maybe the rigors of a major league schedule got to him in that final month, but Davies was fantastic for most of the season last season.
I think it's a lot of young players. That first major league season, September. Minor league season is essentially over at the end of August. And your first year in the major leagues, you know, for a hitter, pitcher, kind of uncharted territory, and hopefully the struggles that he had last September will help him this year.
He's only 24. Brewers got him from the Orioles in a trade deadline deal for Gerardo Parra 2 years ago. Made it to the big leagues that 15 season and then in the rotation last year. Hot ground ball over the bag and Arcia can't play it. Bag might have had something to do with it. I'm not sure. It didn't look like it hit it, but Arcia trying to range over to make the play.
Yeah, that'll be a base hit for sure.
That's going to be the first hit of the game for the Dodgers.
Yeah, but Arcia, they'll probably tell you he could have made the play. Does not hit the bag. And he goes down to try and get himself in position to throw and not able to come up with it. And it'll be a base hit.
Tough way to give up your first hit of the game, but it is an infield hit. And that'll bring up Austin Barnes now. So we were having a chat about Barnes and the fact he's starting at second base today. He's also a catcher. Our man Dave Trout in the truck pulled up a couple of good names here. Scott Heeman in the 90s for Oakland. He started 40 games or played in 40 games at second base. He was a catcher. Fly ball to right. Santana on the run, and Santana fetches it on the warning track.
That's pretty good power to the opposite field. A nice running catch by Domingo Santana going back. He's telling Keon Brock, no problem, I had it all the way.
He is a smooth operator, isn't he?
Yep. Never seems to be at full speed with those long strides. He makes up a lot of ground and able to haul it in easily on the warning track.
2 outs in the inning. Here's Kike Hernandez. The other name, just to finish that thought on catchers who have played middle infield positions, Brad Ausmus.
Yeah.
Which I didn't remember, but he started a game at second base in his career. He played 6 games at second and a game at shortstop. The Tigers manager, who was always one of the better defensive catchers in the big leagues during his time.
Best athletes on the field.
The tools of brilliance.
Just give him a chance. Play anywhere. I bet Matty can field second base if you had to.
Two balls, no strikes on Hernandez. Dodgers have a runner at first. 2-0 Brewers, and a swing and a miss. Boy, Kike Hernandez does not get cheated. He took that same big swing with 2 strikes in the third and struck out. He is among league leaders in doubles. Has 15 of them, as a matter of fact. super utility man for the Dodgers, infield and outfielder. He's got the fan on right now, 2-2.
Change up off the plate, and you know when you have a guy swinging like that, a big swing like that, change up is a great pitch. And Zach has a good one today.
Runner at first is Grandal, and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Zach Davies works around an infield hit, first hit of the game for the Dodgers. Gets a punch out, his 5th to end the 5th.
They have a 2-0 lead, and his last at-bat was an RBI single, an 0-2 count with 2 runners on and 2 outs, and that's kind of been the quintessential at-bat for Sogard. I asked him about his approach, particularly leading off. He said, look, the goal is just to get on base any way possible. He said he does like to work counts, see a lot of pitches. He enjoys that battle at the plate, says he likes to foul off balls and to wait to get that right pitch to hit. So he said he does shorten up some with 2 strikes, but overall he tries to keep a similar approach throughout the whole at-bat. And Craig Counsell said that really is just the essence of hitting, is differentiating between balls and strikes, particularly with 2 strikes. So he said that's really a talent of his, and just with how well he's seeing the ball right now, that's something they want to take advantage of.
Impressive word, Sophia. Quintessential. Well done. The other thing he does, and we talked about this in, when he got that base hit, the fact that he understands what his job is in a particular at-bat. And that's something that it takes a while maybe to understand as Grant Dayton takes over. Another short start from Maeda. We saw Dayton a couple of nights ago in that extra inning game. Came in and struck out the side.
This is very similar to what Dave Roberts did with Rich Hill yesterday. 4 innings for his starting pitcher, and is not leaving due to injury. 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned. Sogard drove in 1 with a 2-out single in the second. The Dodgers carry 8 relievers, and Dave Roberts is into his bullpen already. Going to ask 5 innings out of his bullpen today. Sogard pops up a bunt, and it is caught by Barnes. Gonzalez at the last moment pulled back, and Barnes makes the catch for the out, 1 away.
Yeah, Barnes in the shadow of Adrian Gonzalez, and for whatever reason Gonzalez pulled it away, and look at Barnes kind of surprised that ball was coming to him. Hitters hate that. That's almost like giving up an at-bat. Popping up a bunt like that, but you like the idea. You bunt it toward the second baseman, and it's awfully hard to get the out.
One away. Here's Eric Thames. Homered in the first. Can see a big difference in Thames now that he's got his legs back under him. He said he stopped lifting weights, lower body weights, because he wasn't recovering as fast as he wanted 2 months into the season. So on the last homestand, he told Sophia he gave that up. He's hit for more power. Pops this one up. Sunfield in left. Seager's out there, the shortstop, to make the catch. Those aren't easy plays out in that area this time of day. Bright sky up there.
Well, with Thames up there at the plate, you had Bellinger playing pretty deep. He's not able to get there, and Seager able to haul it in.
2 quick outs for Grant Dayton. Jesus Aguilar, his 3rd plate appearance, walked his last time up, struck out his first time up. He's finding his name in the lineup more often than not. Jesus Aguilar gives the Brewers a big power threat. Yesterday, Aguilar in game 2 of this series against a lefty. Rich Hill turned one around. Powerball home run number 5 for Aguilar, and a no doubter into the bleachers on the Loge level.
And another guy who's just not a power hitter. He has a good idea at the plate, goes to the opposite field nicely.
Finally getting his chance in the big leagues at age 27. He's got 3 small windows of big league time the last 3 years with the Cleveland Indians. He had never hit a homer in the big leagues until this season. Hit plenty in the minor leagues.
And he's really not the quintessential big man over at first base.
Light on his feet.
Light on his feet. Very good fielder. Made a mistake in yesterday's ball game, but I looked up quintessential when Sophia said it.
Nice. She's upgraded your vocabulary today.
Yeah. It's not the standard vocabulary that I use.
1-2 the count. Aguilar hits it sharply into right field. That's what you're talking about right there.
Yeah.
A base hit.
Shortening up with 2 strikes and hitting it hard into right field. You look at him and you don't think of a swing like that, right? You think of a guy that's just looking to pull everything. Slider down, and he just kind of guides it out there into right field. That's just a nice swing, a nice approach with 2 strikes.
You know what was impressive about his year last year? He had 30 home runs in AAA in Columbus. He goes to winter ball in Caracas. He's Venezuelan. He plays in the Venezuelan Winter League, which is a very competitive, intense league. And he hit 10 more home runs in just 42 games in winter ball. And so you put that year together, no wonder he came into spring training with confidence as high as it ever has been. And he had 7 home runs in spring training this year to earn a spot on the big league roster. So he's been on a nice home run tear.
But the impressive thing about Aguilar, and we've seen a lot of guys have big springs, then come to the season, they don't get a lot of at bats, and they just can't find it again. They lose that edge, they lose that good stroke. Beginning of the season, Aguilar didn't get a whole lot of at bats. He struggled a little bit, but he figured out how to stay ready on the bench, and because of that, now he's getting a lot of playing time.
Travis Shaw fouls it away. This will be the 3rd left-hander that Grant Dayton will face. The primary reason he's in the game, I'm sure. This run of lefties for the Brewers with Sogard and Thames, and then Aguilar in between Thames and Shaw. But the Brewers left-handers are hitting lefties well this year. That's part of the equation too. 2 balls and a strike. 3-1 now.
And Dayton's the only left-hander the Dodgers have in their pen. 7 right-handers and 1 left-hander. The Brewers do not have a left-hander in their bullpen.
Dodgers are without 2 of their key left-handers in the bullpen, injured right now. Shaw got that one in on the hands a little bit, and a pop-up out to Forsythe to end the inning. So the Brewers failed to score in the 5th. We go to the 6th. It is 2-0 Crew.
A 2-0 lead. Our crew in the community, the Brewers' wives, were busy this morning participating in the Run Walk for Girls on the Run. And Girls on the Run is a terrific program for 3rd to 5th grade girls with a curriculum designed exclusively for them, including running, workouts, games, teaching them important life skills like healthy decisions, good attitudes, conflict resolution, and they've trained really hard for this 5K run walk. I had a chance to meet some of these girls just a few weeks ago when they came to visit us for a Women in Sports panel, and it's a terrific program. They do a great job with these young girls, and they enjoyed the run walk here today.
All right, good job, Sophia. Excellent report. Great day to do it as well, and hopefully raising a lot of funds and awareness as Yasiel Puig leads off for LA. Fly ball into left center, and Thames will make the catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Davies, and Rocky just continues to roll here. Davies has only allowed 1 hit. That was an infield single last inning.
Well, and again, he's been able to get outs early in the count. I mean, that's what happens when you have that good command going. Pitches go from strikes to balls very quickly, and you get him to chase a little bit. A lot of ground ball outs. Yeah, the 5th inning, his highest pitch count, that was 20. That was the inning he gave up the hit.
So top of the order once again. 3rd time through. Here's Logan Forsythe, and he takes strike 1. Dodgers are headed home after this game. They have a series with the Washington Nationals coming up. 0-2 the count on Forsythe. Hyun-Jin Ryu will start for the Dodgers in game 1 of that series against Washington. Game 3 in that series is the headliner, though. That is Kershaw against Strasburg. That'll be a must-see.
Be some punch-outs in that game.
Yeah, no kidding, huh? Kershaw coming off a 14 strikeout game here against the Brewers Friday. Strasburg struck out 15 2 starts ago in 7 innings. Dodgers are very good, very talented. They got depth, they've got prospects. If they need to make a deal, they can. Even their disabled list has plenty of talent. Dave Roberts, in his first year last year as the Dodger skipper, Won the Manager of the Year. You think about the fact that Justin Turner's coming back soon. We saw Turner on the field today. He was running bases, doing some baseball activities. He's been out with a hamstring injury, and he's due back soon. That's a huge bat in their lineup. Third baseman. They've got Jock Peterson returning soon off the DL. Swing and a miss on a changeup.
Man, dandy again. My goodness. That's just good arm action on that pitch today. Hey, everybody loves Mondays at Miller Park because Terrace Reserve tickets are just $6. That's all courtesy of Miller High Life. To get your $6 tickets for tomorrow night's series opener against the Giants, go to brewers.com/highlife.
A little Monday baseball at Miller Park with the Brewers and the Giants. Junior Guerra, Jeff Samardzija tomorrow pitching matchup. And don't forget, first pitch is at 6:40 on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Yeah, Samardzija is 6th in the National League in strikeouts. So another top hurler in the National League facing Milwaukee.
0-2 the count to Seager. 2 outs in the inning. Davies works quickly, misses with a fastball.
You think about all the guys that the Brewers have faced in the top 10 in strikeouts: DeGrom, Kershaw, Robbie Ray, Zach Greinke, Carlos Martinez. Yeah. And Samardzija coming up.
Well, speaking of strikeouts, Davies has 6 at this point. 2 outs in the 6th, and Seager fouls it away. Only 85 pitches for Davies. He's hardly been in the stretch today. Got a chance at another 3-up, 3-down inning. Seager is 0 for 2. Davies struck him out in the first, and then Seager hit one right off the end of the bat back to the mound in the 4th inning. That was on the first pitch of the inning. That is one of the 7 ground ball outs that Davies has recorded today. 3-2 pitch, bounce foul.
Went right after him with a fastball, and so you can see the expression on his face saying, how did I miss that? It's because of that late movement. Just a little slight movement right as it gets to the hitting zone for Davies.
Payoff pitch coming again, and he missed with a curveball on the first walk issued by Davies. Good battle there by Seager too. He was down 0-2 and was able to draw the walk. So 2 outs with a man on now for Chris Taylor. Taylor made it to the big leagues with the Mariners as a shortstop. Infield utility man. Now he's added outfield to his job description. He's had starts this year at second base, third base, and center field. And he's also played short, which is his most natural position. He's the Dodgers version of Hernan Perez. Let's put it that way.
Man, not a big guy, but he got popping that bat with the 7 homers.
Hit a grand slam to center field off the batter's eye yesterday. Snap throw to first. Seager back. You never know when your opportunity comes. You got to take advantage, and for Taylor, he's done that with the Dodgers. He started the year in AAA. He got the call to the big leagues, and he's just been hitting ever since. And you get big hits like he had last night, You plant a deep seed in the mind of a manager as a player that can be trusted in pressure situations, and that's what keeps you around.
And either coming off the bench late in the game as a pinch hitter if you're not starting, or not every everybody needs days off, and he can play a lot of different positions.
2-1 pitch, and he pulls one foul. And it's one of those go figure positions too with Taylor, because at AAA he was hitting just .233. Only had 1 home run. It's not like he was tearing the cover off the ball to earn a promotion, but he's shown him enough, and he's versatile. And Dodgers had some injuries, and then he gets a call up and he catches fire. 2-2 on the ground, ranging over is Sogard, and that's it for Davies in the 6th. He retires the side, works around the walk. He is strong through 6 innings. Got a shutout on the board. It's 2-0 Brew Crew.
Miller Park, Brewers Dodgers, and the Brewers have a 2-0 lead. And today's timer, the game winner, Soup's Own Restaurant in Fort Atkinson. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Oh, we had an epic finish in the sausage race, Rock.
Little weenies today.
The Little Weenies on a Sunday, and it was a surge by the little Italian that won the race. Josh Fields on the mound for the Dodgers. We have video proof, by the way, of the epic finish. Look at the rundown by Italian. Chorizo trying to hold him off using some alternative tactics.
Scraping some paint.
They start early here. Santana leads off for the Brewers. Fields is the pitcher the Brewers got to yesterday. One of the 2 pitchers that got roughed up in that 7th inning.
Back-to-back home runs he allowed. The grand slam and solo shot by Perez.
2 of those 5 runs belong to Fields. He'd only given up 2 runs all year until yesterday, and only 1 homer all season. And then the Brewers went back-to-back. Shaw's grand slam, Perez solo shot. Things were looking good right about that time. Santana hits it hard, and it is caught at second base. Austin Barnes reaches out, takes a hit away from Santana. That might have had a chance to go to the wall.
Yeah, he scorched that one and did a nice job going right with it. Brewers have been able to make some pretty good contact on Fields, and before he got to Miller Park, he was virtually unhittable. Nice play by the catcher / second baseman.
1 away. Santana's out, 0 for 3 today. That'll bring up Manny Pena. Pena walked and scored his first time up. He scored on Sogard's 2-out RBI single. The other run was a Thames homer in the first inning. And that's been it. Good day for the pitchers. Dodgers only have one hit, an infield single in the 5th. Zach Davies has been on point.
Boy, you get 7 out of Zach, you're going to be feeling good about this one, right? Exactly what Greg Counsell was looking for. A nice long start. He's gave him his 6th. Now it's time to get greedy, get through the 7th.
His pitch count's in great shape too. He's under 90 pitches through 6 innings. Matt Garza only able to go 4 yesterday, had to leave with an injury. Thus the urgency to have Davies go a little deeper in the game today. 1-2. Pena takes a ball. We were talking to Oral Hershiser, who does Dodgers television now, about, you know, the game's different for sure, but there was a game on this date in Dodger history that's a significant game in their history. A 22-inning game where Hershiser, on his side day, pitched 7 shutout innings between starts.
Yeah.
And made his next scheduled start, he said.
And he said he maybe had an extra day, but I mean 3 days later he was something else. They called him the Bulldog because, you know, he did not want to come out of games. I mean, he racked up innings, worked out of the bullpen. Remember that World Series, all those games, all those innings he racked up in the World Series.
Pena pops it up in the infield. And let's see who's going to call here. That's Seager who makes a call in the catch. 2 outs.
And all fans in attendance for the Brewers game with division rival Pirates on Monday, June 19th. We'll get an Eric Danes Revere the Beard t-shirt courtesy of BP Come On Back Club. Plus it's a Miller Highlight Monday. Terrace Reserve tickets are just $6. Visit Brewers.com for information and to get your seats.
There it is. No eyes. No eyes on the beard.
Yeah, just eyebrows.
Revere the Beard. My wife nixed the idea to grow beards for that game, by the way, so you're on your own.
What date is it?
You just read the card.
It's a week from tomorrow, right?
I got a bad looking beard
I
anyway.
don't have time. I was just kidding anyway.
Mine's scraggly. Keon Broxton, little half swing. That's a strike anyway. 0-2 now.
My retention on the cards is not very good. It's not like reading a book.
It was about 15 seconds after you read it, you asked me what the date was.
I forgot.
And I wasn't listening, so we were both had no chance. Strikeout for Broxton. And Fields puts together a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the 7th inning. Davies back on the hill.
At that against Gonzalez kind of explains how he's been so good this year. Good command of everything. There's a changeup to start him out. And then on pitch number 4 on a 2-1 count, this is where he starts taking command. The changeup on a 2-1 count. Able to get the swing and miss. There he has him at that point. The fastball down and away, then the 3-2 pitch, changeup up on the corner, gets the ground out. And that's just perfect pitching by Zach Davies. Throwing that changeup down and away. He hasn't made any mistakes with that pitch.
Jimmy John's delivery of the game for Davies. And he will face Gonzalez to start this 7th inning. 2-0 is the lead. The Brewers scored a run in the first, got a run in the second. Home run by Thames, RBI from Sogard. And that's been it. Pitchers duel here.
Everything away the entire day to Adrian Gonzalez. You can see he's looking out there and actually just swung at one that was off the outside corner. He doesn't chase too often, but when you're looking away, everything, even something off the plate, looks a little bit better. Does not really challenge him at all inside, at least not for a strike.
Gonzalez flew out to left field in the first. He sent Thames back to the wall. Didn't quite get it on the bat though. And then Davies with that ground out last time up. And that one's pulled and through for a base hit. That's the first hit to the outfield for the Dodgers. Their second hit overall. It's a lead man on. First time since the first inning the Dodgers have had a lead runner reach base.
Yeah, this one's on me right here. I said he hasn't left one up at changeup. He left the next one he throws is up, and Gonzalez able to take advantage of it once again. Away but up. You know, the changeups that he threw his previous at bat were all down and away. That's what I get.
Brings up Cody Bellinger now, representing the tying run. Bellinger able to check his swing. That base hit by Gonzalez got the Brewers bullpen active. Jacob Barnes and Oliver Drake. Two 2-0 the count on Bellinger. Brewers have been in a position to win the first 2 games in this series, and they're in a position to win this one. Dodgers have had some late comebacks in the first 2 games. And now Pena's on his way out. So Davies falls behind 3-0. Bellinger not biting.
Oliver Drake up in the bullpen, and ordinarily Craig Counsell likes to use him against lefties. That's what the situation was in yesterday's ball game. Came in, faced a number of left-handers, then was taken out. Jared Hughes came in. He gave up 3 consecutive hits and a run. They got the switch hitter Grandal on deck, and then nothing but right-handers coming up. Although down at the bottom of the order, they have Chase Utley on the bench.
Bellinger drops a bunt down on 3-0, and it's going to go for a hit. Wow, a 3-0 bunt with the shift on, and suddenly the Dodgers with 2 on, nobody out. Well, that works well for Bellinger.
Yeah, why not? Look at there's Travis Shaw way up the middle, and it doesn't even have to be that good of a bunt. That's going to be it for Zach Davies.
And here come the Dodgers again. Late innings, putting the pressure on a pitching staff. Counsell is going to take the ball from Davies. He's done 6+. Gives up 3 hits, and he'll exit to a nice hand from this Miller Park crowd. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Zach Davies out 6+ innings. 2 batters faced in the 7th, 2 on for the Dodgers. Back-to-back hits. Gonzalez and Bellinger, and now Davies is a spectator for the remainder of this one. And the Brewer bullpen trying to turn the tide here against the Dodger batters. They've had the best of the Brewers in the first 2 games of this series late. Oliver Drake comes in to face Grandal.
Did a great job yesterday. He came in to face 4 left-handers, got them all out. And his first batter is the switch hitter Grandal, who will be batting left-handed. That needs a ground ball. Got a ground ball hitter at the plate.
2-0 Brewers. Grandal hit the game-tying homer in the 9th inning on Friday. He also had the first hit against Davies, an infield single in the 5th. Drake is like a left-handed specialist because he has a splitter. It's almost got a screwball action. It's like a left-handed slider, I guess, is the best way to describe it, moving away from a left-handed hitter.
And you wonder if this is going to be 1 and out for Drake.
There's that pitch. No lefties on the entire staff for the Brewers. So Drake becomes your left-handed specialist, even though he's right-handed. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 on for the Dodgers. And Grandal, swing and a miss. There's that pitch.
Yeah. And it goes down right at the last second, and then a lot of hitters swing over the top of it. Now with 2 strikes, get that pitch down in the dirt. That's a nice pitch on a 1-1 count.
Grandal has bounced into 7 double plays. Drake would love one right here. Help clean this inning up a little bit. Right now the Dodgers have the go-ahead run at the plate. Each club with 3 hits. Dodgers just had 2 to start this inning. Gonzalez and Bellinger. 1-2 the count. In the dirt. Pena keeps it close.
Yeah, sneaks through him just a bit, but not far enough for Gonzalez to get to third base. He doesn't run all that well. You call that split-fingered fastball and you're behind you're catching, you better be prepared to block it, because a good splitter ends up in the dirt with 2 strikes.
Out of the U.S. Naval Academy, Oliver Drake. 2-2 pitch and a bouncing ball. Chance for 2 here. Arcia to the bag. Fires to first in time. Just what the doctor ordered right there. Oliver Drake gets a 6-3 double play ball out of Grandal. 2 gone in the 7th.
Yeah, pitch up in the zone, and Grandal gets on top of it. That's about as easy as it gets. There's that fastball up. And Arcia able to handle himself, tags the bag, and on to first base for the double play. That's a big one.
2 for the price of 1. And now Craig Counsell is out with the home plate umpire. He's going to make a double switch. And he is going to ask multiple innings out of his big relievers, his horses down there. Drake is out. Jacob Barnes coming in. Pitching change at Miller Park. using one of his better relievers here in the 7th inning. Normally Barnes is the setup man. He works the 8th, but he's going to ask multiple innings out of him.
I tell you, Oliver Drake last 2 days, huh? Able to get 4 out of 4 yesterday, a double play ball when he needed it, and able to get the job done against lefties. Now is Jacob Barnes, a couple of right-handers coming up. Was not available in yesterday's ball game, but his numbers have been very good. A 289 earned run average in game number 30.
Austin Barnes at the plate, and first ball swinging, fouls it away. Was a little bit late on that 97-mile-an-hour heater. Perez enters the game as well. That's the other half of the double switch. So Hernan will play center field. Broxton's out. So you can put Perez in the 9th spot in the batting order. He'll be due up second in the bottom of the 7th inning. Oh, 0-1 to Barnes. In the air, right center field. Hanging up for Santana. He's got it, and the inning is over. And the Brewers work through 2 base runners to start the 7th. 7th inning stretch time. We turn it over to Miller Park and Rob Edwards. It's time for God Bless America. Enjoy.
Guest services. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Still a 2-0 lead for the Brewers in the series finale with the Dodgers. Our big story in baseball today. The Blue Jays were down 2-0. Then Justin Smoak tied it with a 2-run home run. And in the 8th, it was Josh Donaldson with the go-ahead home run on his bobblehead day, guys. The Blue Jays would go ahead to win this one 3-2 and split the 4-game series with the Yankees. By the way, Donaldson now has 4 home runs in his last 5 games.
Yeah, he's coming on. That's a big win for Toronto. Yankees had their way to start that series. Remember, Donaldson was out with a calf strain when the Brewers saw the Blue Jays here in Milwaukee. New pitcher rock is Ross Stripling. So they've gone Dayton, the lefty, Josh Fields last inning, and now Stripling here in the 7th. And a tapper by Arce on the first pitch. And the throw's up the line, but they record the out. Forsythe to one of the more slick fielding first basemen in the game, and Adrian Gonzalez.
Yeah, we saw Stripling in the game yesterday. Struck out the side, gave up a hit. And nice footwork by Adrian Gonzalez. Able to get the lead out.
1 pitch, 1 out for Stripling.
And Brewers able to attack 5 runs on this Dodger bullpen yesterday. And best in the National League. After those 5 runs, they still have a .271 earned run average. These guys are pretty good out of the pen.
Hernan Perez will bat for the first time. Came in on the double switch. Well, you look at the top of the 7th inning, and the Brewers were stepping into the deep waters there with Gonzalez and Bellinger reaching on singles. 2 on, nobody out in a 2-0 game. And then Oliver Drake got a double play ball off the bat of Grandal, who has now bounced into 8 double plays this year. And then Barnes, just a little routine fly ball. Austin Barnes, that is, off Jacob Barnes for the final out.
Yeah, it looks like Jake was going to go another inning.
Hardly broke a sweat in that 7th inning. Could not have worked out better for Craig Counsell.
Well, you can't ask for much more out of Oliver Drake than what he's given you the last couple of days. I mean, that was a inning changer, that double play, and they bring him in to get lefties, and he's got his last 5 left-handers out.
One and 2 to Perez. Hit into center. That's going to fall, a base hit. Good piece of hitting there. Perez on a 2-strike pitch sends one to center field and a base runner for the Brewers.
This time a 1-2 count. And fastball by Stripling, and Perez able to center on it. Nice easy swing with 2 strikes. And his reaction, he knew he made a mistake. Grandal wanted that pitch up. He didn't get it up high enough.
So Hernan will be at first. He's an excellent base runner, very fast, a stolen base threat. Sogard at the plate. Top of the order for the Brewers. Sogard 1 for 3 with an RBI single. At the plate, presented by Wendy's. As you see his line today, started the game with a 9-pitch at bat that ended in a strikeout on Maeda, and then had that RBI single in the 2nd. Popped up to 2nd last time up. Sogard's been the magic formula at the top of the order for the Brewers, to the tune of 6-0 thus far. And a win today, the Brewers would go to 7-0 with Sogard leading off. He and Thames have driven in the 2 runs, the 1-2 hitters in the lineup. There goes Perez. Sogard hits one down the line. That is a foul ball.
Oh.
Man, it just missed.
That would have scored a run. That was a foul by about a foot.
How close?
Oh, maybe not even a foot.
Yeah. So it's 1-1. Ross Stripling, 3rd reliever used by the Dodgers. And a check on Perez. Last year, Perez stole 34 bases for the Brewers. Always a threat. There he goes. Sogard fouls it off. 1-2 now.
Almost looked like a hit and run that time. You know, the way Perez really didn't get a stolen base type jump. the typical jump that you see from Perez, and Sogard fouls it off. When was the last time we saw a hit and run?
We're going to have to confirm whether that was the case. They don't come around very often in the big leagues anymore.
Yeah, it looked like it, but you don't see many. Not many teams use it.
1-2 the count on Sogard. Outside for a ball.
A lot of times you'll see a guy take off and a hitter has the discretion whether he wants to swing or not. Sometimes they'll get a base hit. It looks like a hit and run, but it really isn't.
Sogard in his 11th start as a Brewer, his 19th game after being called up from AAA Colorado Springs. And that one's into right field. Coming in to make the catch is Hernandez. Throw to first is late. Sogard, tough break, hit that one right on the nose.
Yeah, good job by Perez recognizing that ball is going to get caught. He takes off and realizes right away he barely is able to get back, but he does. One more step, he would have been out at first.
Close play. Hernandez has a good arm too. Made it close, but 2 outs, runner at first. And that'll bring up Eric Thames. Thames got this day started with a bomb into right center. His 15th home run of the year, his 4th first inning home run of the year. Thames on the Powerball home run leaderboard. He leads the club. Travis Shaw has 10. That 10th home run for Shaw was a grand slam yesterday. Right now Thames is a home run shy of the lead in the National League. 2 players have hit 16. Scott Schebler and Justin Bour. Schebler of the Reds and Bour of the Marlins. Those are the 2 ahead of him. There's a big group at 15 home runs now. That includes Bryce Harper, Giancarlo Stanton, Ryan Zimmerman, and Eric Thames. Got to get this guy in the home run derby this year at the All-Star festivities. Figured he'd be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, there's going to be some monumental home runs hit in that ballpark. That should be quite the show in Miami.
It should. It's going to be very colorful, you know that. 1-1 to count. Thames is 1 for 3 and a check on Perez. Brewers would love to tack some insurance runs on the board here. This Dodgers offense is tough to keep down. Brewers have combined for a 3-hit shutout at this point. Davies did the heavy lifting. Drake and Barnes last inning. Barnes will be coming back out for the 8th. He'll have Kike Hernandez to lead off, the pitcher spot after that. And then to the top of the order. Dodgers have already used Yasiel Puig, so you would imagine could be a Chase Utley at bat in this 8th inning. Hitters count. And Thames takes a strike. 3-2 now.
Pitch down and away. Good take.
Full count. Perez will be on the move. There he goes. Thames draws the walk. And the Brewers get it cooking here with 2 outs. 2 men aboard now. And Aguilar coming up. Been very little activity offensively for the Brewers since the 2nd inning. Matter of fact, this is the first time there has been a Brewer in scoring position since the 2nd, when Sogard drove in Manny Pena.
Neither team has had too many chances today.
Well, the Dodgers just had multiple base runners on for the first time today, last inning. Double play wiped that out. So it's Aguilar with 2 on. He's had a good day today. Walk, a single. His base hit was a shot to right field. He hit a rocket over there through the hole between first and second. Yeah, good numbers with runners in scoring position at .313. His overall batting average is .276. So he's been at his best in spots like this.
Man, that opposite field approach is going to come in handy against Stripling. First 2 pitches, sliders away.
Stripling deals a 1-1. Rollover ground ball, third base. Forsythe in time, and the inning is over. Brewers strand 2. We're going to the 8th. We got another tight one here. Brewers Dodgers. Jacob Barnes back to the mound.
Nothing lead for Milwaukee. Our minor league report, we check in on Biloxi Shuckers catcher Jacob Nottingham over his last 20 games. A .284 average, a home run, 8 doubles, 7 RBIs for him. The OPS very high, 824, and his caught stealing rate just 44%. That leads all of the Southern League. Very impressive numbers for him. Very high on the MLB pipeline list as well. He's ranked as the 14th best prospect for the Brewers.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Good to see Nottingham playing well in the minor leagues. That's the catcher the Brewers got from the A's in the Chris Davis deal.
Yeah, didn't see much of him in spring training. He had a shoulder issue, but you know, I remember talking to Jonathan Lucroy about Nottingham a couple of springs ago. He said this guy's the real deal. He can hit. He needs some work behind home plate. Apparently that work is paying off.
Jacob Barnes facing Kike Hernandez to start the 8th inning. The Brewers do have one of the great catching instructors around in Charlie Green. He's the man that helped develop Jonathan Lucroy and a number of other Brewer catchers. So he's in good hands. Hernandez skies one, shallow right center, and let's see who wants it. Santana's got it, and that'll be the first out. Barnes with a couple of lazy fly ball outs, his first 2 batters faced.
Hey, the homestand continues tomorrow night as the Giants come into town for a 4-game series. You can check out the complete schedule, including the $6 Miller Monday, as well as Kids and Seniors Discount Day on Thursday at brewers.com/promotions.
Giants are here for 4. And our Miller Lite what's on tap? Samardzija and Junior Guerra. Guerra will make his 3rd start since coming back from the disabled list.
Look at Samardzija, 1-7.
He was very active in that big scrum between the Giants and the Nationals. I think Samardzija did more damage to his own teammate Mike Morse than anybody else, though.
Yeah. It was quite the Donnybrook, huh?
Yeah, it was. Samardzija did get a pretty good shot in on Bryce Harper coming into the pile. The former wide receiver at Notre Dame. Giants have had a disappointing season. Coming in here for 4 tomorrow. Chase Utley pinch hitting. Takes a strike. 2-1 to count. Giants are in a share for last place in the West with San Diego at 23-34, 11 games under. Dodgers, Rockies, Diamondbacks are the teams in the NL West that are making noise this year, all well over 500. Arizona's 10 games over. Colorado's 12 games over, and then the Dodgers sitting there 13 plus and a half-game lead. And getting healthy too soon. 3-1 to Utley. That's a strike in there. Utley tried to sell that it was inside. And it's 3-2 now on the veteran infielder, second baseman. UCLA grad.
Yep, generous call on that last pitch by Sam Holbrook.
Coming back in there. And Utley draws the walk. And that's going to bring the tying run to the plate.
Yeah, walks were a big part of that big comeback for the Dodgers yesterday.
You are certainly asking for trouble with walks. Only been 2 today by Brewer pitching. Davies had the other. First batter reads for the Dodgers against Jacob Barnes. 1 gone, top of the order, Forsythe. There's a strike.
98, outer half.
Barnes came in to get the final out of the 7th. Sat down, returns for the 8th. Brewers were able to strand 2 in the 7th inning. Dodgers had 2 on, nobody out. We got the big bats coming up. Seager on deck. Chris Taylor, who hit the grand slam last night, then Gonzalez, Bellinger. Going to have to go through the middle of the Dodger order to get to the finish line today regardless. There's a strike, a fastball at 98. And it's 1-2 on Logan Forsythe.
Yeah, both strikes coming on fastballs. Now this is where Barnes needs that good cutter. Get it down and away. See if Forsythe roll over on and get a double play ball.
Forsythe's not running at 100%. He missed yesterday's game with a hip injury. Dodgers are banged up at the third base position. The 1-2 and a swing and a foul. He was late. Hard throwing Jacob Barnes. Certainly a pitcher who has closer stuff.
Sticking with a fastball here, 98.
Well, if you're playing along now, it feels like you got him set up because he cranked that swing up to get to that big fastball.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, if you give him the good one, you're in good shape. But if you throw the cement mixer and he's behind the fastball, you're playing right into his hands.
See what he has in mind. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pena sets up outside, and it's a fastball. 2-2. With the dangerous Corey Seager due next. There's plenty of heat. That 91-mile-an-hour pitch, that's a slider.
Yeah.
There was a lot on this pitch right here. 2-2 count. Utley at first. And did he go? Yes, he did. A strikeout. Forsythe unable to check his swing, and Jacob Barnes picks up his first K.
Yeah, went with a slider and had Forsythe thinking fastball. Not able to hold up. Jim Wolf rings him up down at first base. Yeah, he went.
A key out for Barnes. 2 gone now. Corey Seager steps in. Seager is 0 for 2 with a walk. It's an anxious crowd. You can understand why after what's happened here the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Late comebacks by the Dodgers. Oh, big swing by Seager.
There's that good cutter right there, 91. Out of the strike zone, he kept it down. That's where you want it. You want to hang that pitch.
It's tough to get a hitter of his quality to miss by that much. That gives you an idea of the stuff of Barnes. Put it in the same spot, but Seager didn't bite this time. 2-1. Those are such big pitches when you're in a 1-1 count. How the at-bat changes.
Yeah. 2-1 or 1-2.
The most pivotal pitch in an at-bat at 1-1. Swinging a foul. Seager had a good rip at it, but he's now 2-2, and Barnes is a strike away from getting this one to the bottom of the 8th.
And another cutter. That one on the outer half of the plate.
Brewers drafted Barnes out of Florida Gulf Coast University as a project. He threw hard but had very little command. And a call, strike 3. Ring him up. Jacob Barnes with a fastball. And down goes Seager. He was looking for the breaking ball, and he got the heat. Inning over. Back-to-back Ks for Barnes.
Miller Park, going to the bottom of the 8th. It's 2-0. Frank Duchon, Jerry Augustine. We're getting set for Brewers Live postgame presented by Ascension coming up after the ballgame. When you have a full arsenal of available arms in the bullpen, these are the results that you see over the last 2 innings here.
It sure does. You're looking at the 7th inning. We brought up Grindle, left-hand hitter, brings in Drake with that split finger, able to coax him into a ground ball double play. Then you go with the Heat guy. You go to Jacob Barnes and you finish up with Knebel. That's when you have everybody healthy, going, making the pitches they have to make.
All right, we'll hear from Craig Counsell coming up after the ballgame. Talk about Zach Davies, a very good quality start, by the way, and those early runs again helping the Brew Crew. Again, Brewers Live presented by Ascension on the way.
All right, Craig and Augie, thank you. Here we go to inning number 8 for the Brewer bats. And Sergio Romo, the former Giant closer.
A very uncharacteristic earned run average for him. Throws a lot of sliders. 627 the earned run average. In his 24th appearance, still has more strikeouts than innings pitched.
Travis Shaw leads off for the Brewers. No balls, 2 strikes on Shaw. Shaw's hit 10 this year, including the grand slam yesterday. He has driven in 40 in game number 57 for the Brewers today. 40 RBIs in his first 56 games. That's a great start to the year. That's got a chance at a 100 RBI season if he keeps it going. Travis is tied for 3rd in doubles with 16. He's 9th in the league in RBIs starting play today.
Well, that consistent bat in that cleanup spot, and he's been able to play just about every day. There were a couple of days he had to miss because of a jammed finger. Other than that, he's been able to stay out on the field.
Well, so far it's been a trade that has been one-sided for the Brewers. Because not only is Shaw performing well here in the big leagues, but the Brewers also got the young shortstop Mauricio Dubon, who is thriving in the minor leagues for the Brewers. We saw a lot of him this spring. He is a slick fielding shortstop. They also got a right-handed pitcher, Josh Pennington, in that deal. And a player to be named later, by the way, for Tyler Thornburg, who has not pitched yet for Boston. He's been injured since spring training.
Right.
Not that the Brewers couldn't use help in the bullpen per se, but they've been able to acquire some terrific talent.
Well, you get an everyday third baseman with pop in his bat. And if you think about it, I mean, think about Tyler Thornburg's career here in Milwaukee. I mean, he had one season where he did not get hurt and was not on the disabled list, right? I mean, so trade value very high at the end of last year, and man, Brewers took advantage of it.
And it gives you an idea. The Red Sox just didn't feel Travis Shaw was an everyday third baseman. Little cue shot. Shift is on. Race to the bag. Seager's throw. In time for the out. That's going to be close. Shaw wants his dugout to take a look at this one. They certainly will. Bang, bang play. Shaw does not run all that well.
You can see where they're playing. There's nobody at third base. It's a nice play by Seager to get the throw off.
Going to be close. Gonzalez sold it well. Oh, man.
I don't know.
They're going to ask for a review here.
He beat it at first base.
So this will be a challenge.
Maybe not. Boy, that's close.
Yeah, it is about as close as you can get. It doesn't look like there's enough there to overturn it. This might be one of those, whatever it was called on the field is what it's going to be ruled in Chelsea, New York at the Major League Baseball Replay Center. So it's out of the hands of the umpires here at this point. Just to refresh you, there's an umpire and there is a supervisor, among others,
Boy, that's about as close as it gets. That slow motion replay right there leads you to believe that it could be overturned, but
fans have just seen an image on the big screen, and they believe they have just seen a call that could be overturned. I'm not so confident.
Tie go to the runner. Isn't that what they say in Little League?
That's what they say. The answer being there are no ties. So the crew chief, Sam Holbrook, awaiting word from the replay center in New York. I'm sure they're giving this multiple looks, and multiple people are looking at this. They do not give you the names of the umpires that are at the replay center. There is an umpire assigned to this game, but anybody can have a look at this and offer their opinion. Let's see what we have. He's out. The call stands. The language tells you there is not enough to overturn the call. One minute 41 seconds on that challenge. Shaw's out, first out of the 8th. Here is Domingo Santana. In the air, left center field. That ball is hit well. Way back. See you later. Domingo Santana with a home run. 3-0 Milwaukee.
Oh, that looks good. That's a big run right there. First pitch, slider from Romo. Adios.
Number 10 for Santana. And he keeps his hot hitting going. Boy, that one left the ballpark in a flash.
Outfielders took a couple of steps and then gave up.
Never gets old, really.
Is Arcia always the last one?
It's starting to develop that trend.
Seems like. I think Franklin was last yesterday, or maybe the day before. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if there's a pecking order there.
Good news about it is they're hitting enough home runs where we're starting to get trends on the celebration.
First pitch slider right down the middle. Our Badger Mutual Insurance run. A home run by Domingo Santana.
By the way, watch this catch by Marcus Hamill. Well done.
Boy, that third run is such a big one. That takes away any opportunity for the Dodgers to bunt to try and tie the game.
A little bit of breathing room from 2-0 to 3-0 on Santana's 10th. Pena fouls it away. Marcus Handel's got his big event tonight, the Coos for Kids event.
That's right.
I wonder if that home run ball will become part of the silent auction tonight. The Brewers bullpen catcher with a beautiful leaping grab on the home run ball.
That's well attended by the Brewers players and coaches.
That's at the Hitters Academy tonight in Caledonia. You can still get tickets and go if you want. It's a great event. Goes to a very worthy cause too, as Romo strikes out Pena. And it's going to be Nick Franklin now. He'll hit in what is now the pitcher spot, the 7th spot in the batting order. It's worth a replay, I believe. The catch of Marcus Hanel. Oh yeah, up against the wall. And mind you, that's in the middle of him catching Corey Knebel in the bullpen.
He caught a pitch and jumped up and caught the homer.
Yeah, that's not easy to do.
Yeah, multitasking.
That's an unrecognized skill that a bullpen catcher has to possess. See there? A man they call Hooks and Coos. But they call him Hooks because of his enormous hands. He can hold 7 baseballs in one hand. It's quite impressive. 1 ball, 1 strike on Nick Franklin, pinch hitter. The 9th inning will be set up for Knebel. Chris Taylor leads off, Adrian Gonzalez, then Cody Bellinger. And now a 3-run lead to work with. Two balls and a strike on Franklin, the switch hitter. Much better from this side. He's still hitless as a right-handed batter. Here's Franklin. 0 for 14. Most of his at-bats coming here off the bench as a lefty. Full count, 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th. Brewers with a run in to make it 3-zip. Trying to salvage this final game of the series. And Franklin taps it foul. Tell you the way Domingo Santana's going. Just weren't sure what kind of player he was going to be. You know, he has all the tools. He's long and rangy at 6'5", big power.
Just a matter of Santana staying on the field. He was hurt quite a bit last year. Had a good September.
First full season in the big leagues he was hoping it would be. And not only did he have elbow problems, had shoulder problems as well that put him on the DL. But boy, he's come back, and after a slow start in April, he is crushing it right now since April 30th. That's his 7th homer. 23 RBIs in 30 games since April 30th, and a high batting average over .330. Franklin hanging in there, extending this at bat. So Franklin coming off the bench. He's seen 8 pitches.
Got VR and Bandy left on the bench.
2 outs in the inning. And the 3-2 is down and in. A 9-pitch walk by the pinch hitter Franklin.
And that looked like a pretty good pitch. That low strike, the elusive low strike for these pitchers this year.
Arcia stepping in. 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch earlier. Two outs in the inning. And that sweeping breaking ball by Sergio Romo. Terrific work today by Jacob Barnes. With an inning and a third scoreless. Zach Davies started 6+ of scoreless baseball. Faced 2 batters in the 7th inning, and then Oliver Drake came on, got a double play.
Man, that was the biggest at bat of the day defensively for Milwaukee.
That was with Grandal at the plate. Dodgers had 2 on and nobody out, down 2-0. And that double play cleaned up the inning. Barnes then came on, retired Austin Barnes, and then had a couple of strikeouts in the 8th. And now it is set up for Knebel in the elusive 9th inning. Well, the Dodgers have done their biggest damage to the Brewers in the first 2 games.
And this time Corey Knebel is going to have some wiggle room. A 3-run lead at least.
Strike 2 on Arcia. Brewers had a 3-run lead going into the 9th yesterday, 8-5. But no Barnes, no Knebel available yesterday. It was Carlos Torres who pitched and had a rough day. 0-2, way outside.
It was supposed to be a pitch out. Not a very good one. Thinking that Franklin's going to try and steal a base.
'27th pitch of the inning for Romo. And he keeps missing with that breaking ball. 2-2 now. Romo had some great years with the Giants. I mean, those World Series titles that they won every other year, those even numbered years. 3 World Series wins for San Francisco. He was first a key setup man and then a closer. Franklin goes, and that ball gets by. Franklin slides, thinking about third. He'll hold up. That will be a stolen base for Nick Franklin, his second. And the Brewers a chance to add to their lead with a base hit now.
Yeah, but back in those days when he was closing games out for the Giants, that was basically all he threw was the slider. That one about 3 feet outside, and Grandal not able to hold on to it. But he's having a difficult time with that pitch today. And apparently that's been a problem he's had all year. Earned run average near 7. I mean, it would be one after the other and really throwing nothing else. 84 career saves.
Now 34 years of age. He was Brian Wilson's setup man in San Francisco, that first World Series win by the Giants in 2010. And he strikes out Arcia to win the inning. But the Brewers get an insurance run, a big one. Domingo Santana gives Corey Knebel a little breathing room. Hits a bomb into left center. Home run number 10 for Santana. And the Brewers are up 3-0 as we go to the 9th. Beautiful Sunday in Milwaukee, and Brewers baseball this afternoon on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Brewers with 2 solo home runs today. Thames in the first, Santana in the 8th. Eric Sogard had the other RBI. That was a 2-out RBI single in the second. And the Brewers are trying to post a shutout against the Dodgers, win the final game of the series. Corey Knebel is on to try to nail it down.
Yeah, took a blown save on Friday, gave up a home run to Yasmani Grandal, and trying to nail down number 5 here today. He's got a 3-run lead this time.
Big swing by Chris Taylor. Taylor starts it. He'll be followed by Gonzalez, then Bellinger. Brewers are trying to exercise the 9th inning demon against these Dodgers. Back-to-back nights, the Brewers were 2 outs away from a win. They had leads in the 9th with 2 outs to get. Grandal homered off Knebel on Friday, and then the Dodgers got the grand slam from Taylor yesterday. But the good news, if you're a Brewer fan, you might not have seen the finishes that you want, but the Brewers are hanging toe-to-toe with a team that has put together one of the best rosters in the majors, the Dodgers, and one of the most expensive in the majors, by the way. Knebel falling behind 3-1.
Yeah, and they've been toe-to-toe with everybody this year.
That's what we see, right?
Yeah.
Watch these games every day, and I don't think the Brewers feel like they match up position by position below anyone. It's a good sign.
Yeah, when you're that close, you're that young, you're going to win some, lose some, and for as many as they have lost late, I think they've won just as many coming from behind.
Highlighted by one of the great games ever at Miller Park, that Mother's Day comeback down 7-1 to the Mets, and the Brewers came back to win that one. 3-2 pitch. Taylor fouls it away. Well, Knebel finishing off this one will do wonders for everyone,
including Knebel.
Last 2 times on the mound at Miller Park, Knebel has blown 9th inning leads. Short memory as a closer. 3-2, and it's fouled away. Taylor's hanging tough.
Just keep pumping in fastballs until the tying run comes to the plate.
Another payoff, and a breaking ball strikes out Taylor.
Gutsy right there. You don't want to walk him. It's the last thing Taylor was thinking. Good job by Manny Pena going to the curveball, the first one of the inning.
That was a great look at the grip of Knebel, how he gets so much bite on that curveball.
And it would have been a borderline called strike. Taylor gearing for fastball and comes up empty.
Big out, strikeout for Knebel. That's 3 consecutive strikeouts against the Dodgers. Barnes struck out the last 2 batters of the 8th.
It's a gutsy pitch, up by 3 runs.
Because if you walk a man on a 3-2 curveball, there's going to be plenty of questions asked about that. But that's been Knebel's best pitch this year, and a fastball right by Gonzalez. Adrian Gonzalez actually finishing a game for the first time in this series. He's been lifted both games. Did he go? He did. Unable to check it, and it's strike 2 on Gonzalez.
Yeah, home plate umpire called that one himself. Oh yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes. These are young guys pitching in pressure situations. Knebel and Jacob Barnes. Great stuff. Fastball just missed. You're going to take their lumps for sure, and they have.
Yeah.
But if you survive it, you know the Brewers are going to stick with them, come out of it stronger, and you can instill a lot of confidence. Fastball tied him up, went up and in at 96.
Great counsel calls all these tough losses and situations learning experiences, but you know, as these players go through it, it's up to them to learn from it, not hang your head.
Knebel's got an impressive streak going. He has at least one strikeout in now 29 games. That's a Brewers franchise record. Passed John Axford a few weeks back, and he's kept it going. The aforementioned Tyler Thornburg on that list. Two and two. Never mind. Step off. Knebel was the pitcher of the month for the Brewers in May. A .71 earned run average across the month. 2-2. Did he go? They will ask, and he's able to check it this time. And now the count 3-2. Curveball at 79. The fastballs are up there in the upper 90s. Payoff pitch. Missed with it. Ball 4. Gonzalez draws the walk.
Guy's a tough out, isn't he? Even when he doesn't get base hits, he makes you work.
That's going to bring up Cody Bellinger.
This is where that home run by Santana really comes in handy.
Changes the anxiety level of this at bat for sure. But the Dodgers do bring the tying run on deck. The Brewers are trying to shut out a team for the first time since April 12th. The only other shutout this year, that was at Toronto. Chase Anderson was part of that one. He and Phillies combined for the shutout against the Blue Jays on the first road trip of the year. There's a strike. Last time up, Bellinger got into a 3-0 count, and he had a push bunt for a base hit.
And that adjusted where Travis Shaw is right now on this at bat.
Shaw about a step off the grass, despite a shift being on.
Trying to defend against one more base runner. That would bring the tying run to the plate.
Two balls, one strike. In there, strike two.
98 right on the edge. Now your best curveball.
Count is even. Knebel a couple of shakes. And now Manny Pena asked him to step off. They'll go through them again. Look at all those pitches down on the edge and at the bottom of the zone against Bellinger. Kid with tremendous power. Setting up inside, and a fastball ties him up. He goes. Bellinger still doesn't believe it, but he's out. That's a strikeout for Knebel. Out number 2 of the inning.
That was off the plate, but Sam Holbrook calling it on the swing. No, he did.
Yeah, big out. And so now the Dodgers down to their last out, and Corey Knebel's nemesis coming up from Friday night, Yasmani Grandal. I'm sure a rematch Knebel's been looking forward to. Starts him with a curveball for a strike. Grandal hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball in the seats Friday to tie the game
on a 3-1 pitch. Adrian Gonzalez cruised on into second base.
Knebel's got a chance to make Grandal the final out in this final game of the series. No balls, a strike. Gonzalez into second. Defensive indifference to get him there. Another hook and another strike. And it's 0-2. Does Knebel dare throw him a fastball?
About neck high, maybe.
Let's see. No balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. And a fastball struck him out. And a little redemption for Corey Knebel. He makes Grandal his final victim. He strikes out the side. And he's back on track. Save number 5. What a ball game today, partner.
Well, all 3 games were outstanding. I mean, you know, the Brewers just able to get enough runs. Once again, first inning damage for the Brewers offense. And how about Zach Davies? Zach Davies outstanding today, 6+. And for my money, that Oliver Drake appearance in the 7th inning was a game changer.
He faced 1 batter. He got a double play off the bat of Grandal in the 7th. That was a big one. Santana's homer gave him a little insurance. Second shutout of the year, 3-0, and that sets us up for Brewers Live. Plenty to talk about. Let's get it to Craig Kashawn. He's standing by down the right field line. Craig?
Okay, BA, a lot of great storylines. Starting pitching with Zach Davies, the bullpen looking as strong as it has in some time now. We're going to hear from Craig Counsell, hear from the winning players as well. Brewers Live postgame presented by Ascension is on the way.